And joining me right now, live and direct. Well, not so live. This is recorded, pre-recorded for those that are wondering. But yes, joining me right now is Mr. Bob Levy. How are you, sir?
It's good to be here, Michael. How are you, sir?
Well, I would be lying if I said I'm doing good. I'm actually not good. I'm actually in a very bad mood. I'm furious right now. I do voiceover work, that sort of jazz, lots of freelance work. And there's a client who owes me money right now, and it's been a while, and I'm ready to strangle someone.
Oh, that's the worst one. That's why, like, you get people that they come in, like, you don't want to, especially the first time you work for them, you don't want to say, I want the money first. But you don't want the headache later like this. And
exactly.
That's the way it makes you like, it's like, I don't want to fly out there or drive out there to kill somebody over something ridiculous, but it's the point. The point is what gets you mad.
Exactly. It's the principle.
Yeah. It's bad business. And this business is all about bad business. It seems. God, yeah. And that's what gets to you. And it's like, I have a guy hit me up to come out to like Orlando or something like that.
Yeah.
And some people seen that I was going to work for him, then the club closed, but then he's got another one. And somebody said, well, be careful. Well, somebody says, be careful. That's not a good thing. And I'm like trying to think, what do I say to him? I want half the money up front and then half the rest of it before the show. Like, then I feel like a dick if I'm wrong. You know what I mean?
Oh, I get you. And I knew you would sort of understand and relate to what I was telling you right there. I'm sure you've gone through all these things as well. Someone says this and then they do another thing. It's a headache. And of course, you've been in the business for such a long time. Mm-hmm. You have been screwed, I'm sure, plenty of times doing stand-up gigs.
Not plenty of times, only
a few
couple,
times.
But then I remember one guy, it was like a porn event they sent me to.
Oh, shit.
He wanted me to go. And then the check bounces.
Oh, God.
And then he's like this and this and this is how I'm going to do it. And then I lost it on him. And I just, and then he was like crying. Let's just say he was basically crying back to me. And I said, you know what? I'm going to let you get away with this one. And just remember that when, you know what I mean, that nothing is going to happen to you and you got lucky. Don't do this to anyone else.
Well, I'm glad you put the fear in God in him.
Well, you have to. What are you supposed to do? Somebody's disrespecting you. That they're you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, if you don't have the money, don't do it. Don't waste people's time. And a lot of people that are in business, they look for the win all the time. You know what I mean? Like, maybe he had to pay more money out and then he ran out. I should have cashed a check earlier, but but it's not my fault. And somebody would have got beat, and it was just very upsetting. But when you can break somebody mentally, it's worth a few $1,000s.
I agree. And what was this early on in your career, or was this much later?
I was in I think I was in Albany, New York, doing radio then. So I just got on a plane, went to Chicago and whatever. But you know what I mean? It happened. It only happened twice in the whole time. And it ended bad for them, basically, mentally.
Understood.
And sometimes it gets bad because what are you supposed to do? You don't want to be known as the guy that you can fuck over,
Yeah, you don't want that sort of reputation at all. So you have to stand up for yourself in this sort of business whenever you can. And for those that don't know, this is the Reverend Bob Levy. Yes. I don't know. I'm sure those who will listen, they know very well who you are, but I'm sure I do have some listeners who have no idea who you are, Bob. Mm-hmm. So let's do that whole introduction sort of jazz here. Of course, the Reverend Bob Levy, a nickname given to you very early on by Jackie Martling, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, that was after my second time on stage, and I was dirty, and it just wasn't like working, and I had nothing else. You know what I mean? Like, now you can, after a little while, you can go, okay, they're not going for this, I'll go with this. I didn't have this. I only had that. And by the time I finished, it was just like, woo. And Jackie went up and go, hey, how about a hand for the Reverend? And it got a laugh. He knew how to break the audience out of what they just seen. But the first time went great. The second time didn't. Thank God it went in that order.
Right. And of course, for those that don't know, you are a former writer for the Howard Stern Show.
Well, I was more on it and that I sent in some bits and that, but I was on like for 8 years, had my own show, Miserable Men. I hosted the roast on the show. It was a fun time until it wasn't. You know,
Oh yeah.
it was insane. It was like imagine like even when we were on K Rock, the stuff that was able to get on the air then at the end, it was like people would flip out these days, but I'm not looking for that audience. The people that flip out, you know, there's enough. You can go see whatever you want. I like to do what I want to do, what I think the people that come and see me want, and I'm not going to change for. I'm not going to change with the world. I'm going to just and kill. You kill out there, you can do anything.
Yes.
If you're on stage and you're killing, you can say anything as long you have to be funny. That's the key. And that's what a lot of people miss. You know, they're like, some comedians are like, "Oh, I'm too edgy." You're not too edgy. You're not funny. There's a difference.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, we have lots of that going around in today's comedy world. I know a lot of people are kind of afraid to sort of, mention names and sort of bring up like mainstream comics that you would see on television. Most of them, I think, are trash. But I don't know if you feel the same way, but I'm not really into lots of the popular comics you see on television right now. I don't think they're funny. I don't think I've ever laughed at any of them. Maybe I laughed at them, but not what they say.
It's safe. It's safe, and it tampers to what this country has become, and it's embarrassing. It's not. Some of the best comedians you don't even like.
You never even hear of.
Know who they.
Yeah,
you won't even know who they are because they'll never have an opportunity. It's you know how it is.
Sure.
Because you're in the voice thing. It's like if you have an agent and he has somebody that they want real bad, right? Like somebody really good, but they'll be like, yeah, but you have to take this guy too.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. And that's the business. You know what I mean? If you can make a living doing what you love, it's the greatest business in the world. If you want to, you have to learn how to put up with a lot of idiots and people that don't really know what they're doing. Like to be a booker, all you have to do is find a place and go, okay, I'm booking a show. So you don't have to, almost like being a comedian, you can get a picture on stage and everybody on Facebook has, and it says you're a comedian and a thing. Like you don't get to be hired. You know what I mean?
Right.
As a, when do you come? You become a comedian when you're working at it and you like, and you're making good money at it, and not making chump change and ruining it for everyone else because they can hire. It's all about making money for bookers. So they don't like if a show isn't selling as much as they thought it was. They just cancel the show. They don't know what a loss is. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
You have to, in any business, you have to take the good and the bad. And too many people don't do that. And it just ruins it. And
It does.
I hear people complain about that a lot.
Yeah. So sometimes, you have to eat a bunch of shit like I've been doing. And it's a headache. Well, it really is.
That's what it is. It is a headache. But like, you just got to keep going, keep just hitting them up. Hey, what about now? And he's like, well, I'm having dinner. I don't give a fuck if you're having dinner right now.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, I'm going to bother you. I am going to make you look out your fucking window. I'm going to make you worry when you get in the car. You know what I mean? Because I have your address. I go, you just don't know anything about life, your address is on your check or whatever, when the envelope you sent. You know what I mean? Come on.
That's right. And going back to Miserable Men for a bit here, or actually let's backtrack even further. What exactly even got you into comedy to begin with?
I just I used to be in the bar in Staten Island that we hung out in. We were crazy,
Sure.
and we basically if people came in that we didn't know, my job was to make fun of them until they wanted to fight us.
Whoa.
And that's why. And then all of a sudden my friend said to me, "You're pretty funny."
So you were like an instigator, in other words.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
And my friend said, "You're funny in that." And we used to listen to Stern. He goes, "Jackie has an open mic. He does. He hosts an open mic at Rascals in West Orange. Just try it." So I just put together like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it worked really good the first time. And then, second time was really bad. But then I stayed there for 2 years. And then after 2 years, I started headlining. And it was like, I didn't know anything about the business. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know how you got work.
Yeah.
If an agent booked one guy at a show and then another agent booked the second one and the third, but it was all the same thing. I had no idea. But it's a great business. And I'm like, the people say, "Who's your favorite comedian?" I was like, I never really watched anybody. I mean, I know everything about it, but like, I'm not going to sit down and watch something. Like if I'm working with somebody I want to see or something, like like Otto and George was probably one of my favorites to see. But Otto passed away a few years back. But he had a puppet. He was filthy. He was just comedians loved to watch him, and his audience that loved him. But like he was making fun of a Spanish guy once, and I think the guy tried to stab his puppet.
Whoa.
You know what I mean?
That's pretty funny.
It is. It's real, and it's like people would get so upset at the puppet, not Otto.
Not him.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was, and the funny thing was, Otto was not the puppet; he was the guy, and George was the puppet. So you like at the beginning, people are going, "Yeah, is that George? Is it with the puppet Otto?" And I go, "No, it's the other way around."
Yeah, that's a great act, by the way.
He was insane. He was filthy, and you go online and watch Otto and George on Letterman. It was ventriloquist week. Okay, he went up there and did TV material. You understand, like without
right.
getting bleeped or anything, and he killed. He went after Dave. He went after Paul. He went at it's the most classic.
That's the right way.
Thing.
Yeah,
it was just amazing.
That's what you got to do in every interview. Sort of throw a few shots in there whenever you can. It's amusing for the audience. They're listening to this and they're like, "Did this guy actually take a shot at the host there?" Which is fucking hilarious to me.
Well, it's hilarious because nobody has the balls to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
We're, like most of the comedians, we're in a business. They're all pussies. You know what I mean?
They are.
They're
yes,
all
they are.
pussies. And all they do is fucking, they're like little girls, you know what I mean? "Oh, you were wonderful," and then they'll fucking talk behind someone's back, It's like there's a lot of good comedians that are good people, but a lot of them are bitches. And I like to work with a lot of my friends because it's more fun for me.
It's fun, but do you think that comedy is way too cliquish?
Of course it is.
It's too much, don't you think?
Yeah, but I mean, I like to, I'm starting to do stuff totally on my own soon. Like, I'm getting groups, I'm putting together shows, I'm four-walling it, and because I know who's funny, and I can do it now, and I want to do that. I want to show people like this show is like it's different. You have different acts on it, but they're all great in a different way, and it makes it a perfect show for everyone that's in the audience. They might say, "I like this person better, I like that person better," but it's okay because we're all friends.
Sure, definitely. And by the way, do you still talk to Jackie at all?
Not really. You know what I mean? I talk to Shu, like we still do Miserable Men. Like we do it on Patreon now. If you go search the Miserable Men show, we're having a ball. Like
I've heard one.
on it. Yeah. Mike Morse is still there. Mark Burns. We've had Al Rosenberg as a guest.
What about Florentine?
We haven't had him on as a guest yet. We had him on. He was on Shuli's show. We both did it, and but we'll bring him on. We haven't had any guests, but like Al Rosenberg. You know what I mean? So
sure.
We have like 5 people, so it's like. You don't need a guest, but we do like having people on to talk about the old times.
Will you have Tim Sabian on?
I mean, yeah, I don't do the booking for the show like that. So it's up to like Shuli, or whatever. I don't. What's good about it now? I just show up. I don't. I don't have to deal with putting together the show and saying, "Here, this is what we're going to do," like we did more in the studio like that. I'd have a whole list of stuff, and now like Mike kind of puts it together,
Yeah.
and they go over. Like I don't have to. We all have a text thing, but I mean,
You're
I
not
just
really,
love to go.
you're not
I
involved
go.
in that,
No,
in the
I'm
booking.
more into like I'll say, all they got to say is you do anything this week, and I go, and they go, all right, save it for the show
Nice.
because
Okay.
it will never be out of stuff. It's about us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not about, we do a few like, stupid things that we see on the internet or videos and we just laugh and just bust on it. But it's just busting balls. It's fucking six people attacking each other the whole time. And, the good thing is that, with the main players that we're not going to be upset. We're not going to, you're going to get it back, and it's okay to get it back because that's what makes it funny.
No, I agree with you. And the reason why I brought up Tim Sabian is because I know, he's kind of someone you probably didn't really like too much during the time, when Miserable Men first started.
No, I did at the beginning. I truly, I knew him from Kid Chris days in Philly when Kid Chris came to Philly. I was on with Kid Chris, so I was always, I loved him for a long time. At the end, not so much.
Well, that's kind of where I stand with him now. I did reach out to him. Yeah. I did reach out to him and we did communicate and, I thought he was going to be on the show. I thought he would maybe even help me on, joining his sort of media thing there.
I don't even know what he's doing, but.
Well, let's just say he sort of big timed me all of a sudden. And I thought, well, fuck you then, I thought.
Yeah. You see, I just got like, I'm one to fight back and basically, they created something that ended up getting really big and crazy. And I would like to just know why. You know what I mean? Why you be a bitch? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm wondering.
You don't, these people will not do it to your face at all. And
yeah, he said, call me back. And that's when I realized, oh, you're going to pull this shit on me.
It happens.
Ugh,
and
gross.
Look, this is what happens. It is gross. It's fucking gross. But you know what I mean? What are you going to do? You can't fucking, you can't fucking kill everybody.
Yeah.
You can't.
But at
It's
least say, no, I'm not going to do your show. At least have the courtesy to say that. Don't tell me, hey, just call me back and we'll talk. And it's like, come on.
It happens.
Yeah,
it happens too much. It sucks, but you know what I mean? That's how people are, and it's like you want to hear answers to. I do think some people have to answer for themselves, but it's been so long that I don't give a fuck.
Oh yeah,
anymore.
It's been a while. This is more recent for me, so that's why I'm kind of like,
Yeah. You know what I mean? If this was like a year later, oh my God, I'm surprised I didn't just go. Well, I got into so much trouble anyway, but I couldn't even go near the building.
That's right. You were banned from the Howard Stern show.
From the building.
Yeah. What exactly happened for those that I kind of know why, but for those that don't know, what exactly happened? If you don't mind me asking.
Well, basically, it was like I just had it. It was the same shit over and over. Like it was a bit like complaining about the plugs, and I was whatever. I made the deal. That was the deal I made.
Yeah.
And it just got to be the same. I'm like, come on, you're better than this. We can move on. I can make believe I can't say words or whatever. I can do something different than that. I even wanted to move from that. Some words will get me, but not. They're not going to keep getting me, but. Maybe a few, but the whole thing is that when I say, all right, I'm gone. Okay, if you're gonna whatever, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I wanted to go on Opie and Anthony. I wanted to change. It just was time to go. It wasn't fun anymore. It was changing, and they, when I got to talk with your family, you're part of the show, but
boy.
You're not in there every day, but we're family. And I go, look, I went out. And then then I got the call basically saying, Tim had Jared call me, and my friend was here. We were taping a podcast, and he goes, "Well, you're banned from the building because you attacked security." And I'm like, "I never, I go, what are you fucking talking about?
Yeah.
Never have. I was friends with this guy. I'm friends with everybody, and then the next day he calls back, and I said, "Now, what's going on with this? I didn't attack." He goes, "I never said that." And I was like, "Are you fucking? So what? Everything is fine now. I'm allowed in the building." And they came to a point where we'll call you back tomorrow. Call back tomorrow. I'm not allowed in because I attacked security again. And then I just lost it. I went on my podcast and I basically threatened to kill Howard.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then
that's funny.
I kind of thought maybe he would hit somebody else up and they'd go hit me up and say, "What's going on, Bob?" You know what I mean?
Yeah. What happened?
We didn't have a bad relationship at all, but it was just like trying to get his attention. But there's a guy that was on fucking 6 milligrams of Xanax a day at the time or more. I wasn't easy to deal with. When anger comes in, anger jumps really high. And then one night the NYPD Blues showed up at my house with my cops. And yeah, they wanted to talk to me
about Howard.
And, yeah, about they're like, they were like, he's scared. He's like, he doesn't know what's going on. And I'm like, I'm like, if I wanted him dead, he'd be dead. And they go, "You can't say that."
That's funny.
You can't. But I'm just trying to explain it. And by the end, this went on for about 20, 30 minutes, and they gave me their cards, and I go, "So what's happening now?" And they go, "Well, if you don't hear from us, that's a good thing." And I never heard from them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was, it was a weird thing. I mean, at that moment, I had to be right. I'm going to be you're going to come at me, I'm going bigger. And that doesn't work in life. You know what I mean?
You're right.
And truthfully, it really doesn't. Just to prove that you're right, sometimes it doesn't work that way. It's going to end badly because of the fact that you can't really keep fighting to prove you're right. Sometimes you got to go, okay.
Yeah, you got to let it go sometimes.
But you can't. It's hard when you're trying to do something else and you're taking that away from you. So I'm not allowed in the building to this day. Anthony Cumia is not allowed in the building to this day. I think they have me and his pictures, somebody said, downstairs.
Now that's interesting if that's true. If both of you are up there side by side with a sign.
No, it's not on the wall. It's on. Somebody was working security and told us that it's in like a
list,
file or a box.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of people. It would be funny, like
that would be great.
A wanted poster on the wall.
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't like that. You know what I mean? But it's like I would like to. You see, I'm friends with Jim Norton, and he's like, "I'd love to have him on the show, but I go, I can call in." He goes, "I don't even know if that could happen."
Wow.
And I would love to just see if I get in there with my ID at this point. Not even go to but I'd have to say why I'm there. But then I'd get somebody in trouble, so I wouldn't do it. But I would love to see.
So they really stifled you from interacting with other shows on the network.
And anywhere up there, even if it was their competition of what that was competition.
God damn.
Whatever, but no, I couldn't. It wasn't going to happen, and that's just the way it is. And it's sad. It's sad, but I think a lot of us went too far. I mean, a lot of times people don't come up to you and say, "Hey, Bob, you have a problem." You know what I mean? You're taking too many of these pills, but they don't do that until it's over. Until
it's over.
Like, well, you're fucked up. Well, it could have been nice if you told me, because I kind of thought I was fucking feeling. I had no idea. A doctor gave it to me. I have no idea.
So you were at one time like deep into the Xanax addiction.
Yeah, 6 milligrams a day prescribed.
At the little footballs going on, the little bars.
3 bars a day.
Well, you don't want to snort those, by the way.
Well, I probably tried. I probably did a little bit.
I did in high school. That was fun.
Yeah, I did when I was fucking 40, whatever, 44. But yeah, I mean, whatever it was. Like it's like I had to go to rehab to get off of them because it's the hardest thing to get off of. It's worse than heroin or anything like that, and you have to be on a certain medicine that you can only get in prison or in rehab. Like your doctor can't give you the medicine so you don't stroke out, and it's for even alcoholics get it when. So they don't die when they stop drinking and have a really bad problem drinking, and if they stop, they could die. That's the medicine they give you. It's the same kind.
That's pretty heavy, and obviously today you're not taking Xanax anymore. But what about boozing? Are you still drinking at all?
Yeah, I didn't drink for 10 years because of the fact that I went there when I went to the doctor. I was like, I stopped drinking, feel a little nervous, and he was a fan, and he's like, here, just take these.
Oh,
this
shit.
will calm you down. That's how it happened.
That's a bad idea.
Mm-hmm. Well, people didn't know that back then that was a drug that was fixing the world, and it does fix you at the beginning, okay? Because you get this feeling, very calm, very nice, because you're a little buzzed, but your mood. There's no middle ground anymore now. You're either very happy, or if somebody pisses you off, you're very mad, and it changes you. And like a lot of people didn't know that and totally got fucked up, and it fucked up their lives. But like nowadays, they're still. I was talking to a guy last night who he's on 6 milligrams a day, and he stopped in January. And I said, dude, whatever insurance you have, call every fucking rehab place that's 3 hours around. You have to be in front of a doctor and to get you, you know what I mean, to give you the medicine to not have you stroke out or die.
Whoa.
I go, you're going to feel like you're going to die. I said, meditate, learn how to breathe the right way. You're not going to breathe. You're going to panic. I said, your mind is very powerful. You know what I mean? You're going to feel like you're going to die. You're probably not going to die. I couldn't even move a finger one time. I thought I was going to my heart was going to explode.
Damn.
I get to the hospital. They go, oh, everything's fine on you. Then I felt better. Yeah. It's such a mind fucking thing. And the mind is the most powerful thing.
It is.
More than anything. And if you want to get clean, you can get clean, and you don't. I look at things a different way. I can have a drink now. I can have 2 drinks, but I don't drink to get drunk.
Get all fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah, to socialize, to
loosen you
live.
Up. Yeah.
Yeah. Just to have, to be normal. I'm in charge of this. The alcohol's not in charge of me. And I learned that instead of taking pain pills after I was in a car accident, I took them for like neck surgery for a few days, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I stopped, but then I learned about the greatness of marijuana.
Yeah.
To make me, I love the edibles. I take basically every day, and it's good for pain. It's good for your mind. It just works. It's like if you want to feel good. And
naturally.
You'll learn, and you'll feel good about not like say somebody says something stupid. Usually I'd be like, well, you're a fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is like, maybe I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
And it's a different, it makes you think.
Makes you think a little bit more.
Talk.
Yeah.
Yes. And I like I said, there'd be no crime. There'd be if everybody got high, nobody would want to.
And Bob, were you not lighting up though back in the day, or you're just rocking the Xannies and the booze? So pot wasn't, and the coke. So pot wasn't really in the equation for you.
Nothing. Julie would tell me about it, and I would just laugh.
You'd be like, "Fuck
I smoked
that."
When I was younger, I sold it when I was younger, and I was like, I just don't like it. It makes me paranoid. And then I'd be doing coke, and I drank, and then it was like, but it was out of control. But it's like it's easy to walk away from stuff. You just got to be ready to do it.
Well, Bob, with you saying that, I think it's safe to do this.
Mm-hmm. Light one up. That's what I do.
That was for you.
That
was for you, buddy.
Yeah, I took a little bit of a what would you call these things? They're not brownies. I kind of got sick of it. It's like a corn muffin, and this one's like a muffin. This one's more of a muffin, a longer one.
Nice.
But
okay.
It just works, and it's so much. Your creativity is so much more better when you're writing and everything. And
It's good for you. It's good for the soul. I'm glad you did not get involved with like GHB.
no, well, everyone tries to say this will do it. This, you know what I mean? It's like this is the safest thing, and I've heard people talk about it because, like, a lot of times, like, even very recently, since even when I went to rehab, right? Yeah. So now, if I want pain pills, if I needed pain pills, which I do sometimes, there's no way I'm getting them. There's no way they're giving it to me because they'll lose their license. It's not like it was where they would just sign scripts and that. It's very hard. There's people that are in a lot of pain that can't get it, that really need
probably
it,
should be on it. Yeah.
Yeah, but they are denied.
And what about acid? Are you not dropping acid at all in your older years now?
No, see, that's too much for me. I mean,
acid's not so bad though. I love acid.
No, I've done it. When I was 18 and that all the time, like mescaline. It was then, and we used to do every weekend because you felt great and. You didn't have to sleep and you can drink beers all night and not get fucked up. It was amazing.
Yeah, acid is, I only tried acid for the first time last Halloween and it was fucking awesome. Much better than shrooms, by the way.
Yeah.
It's much cleaner.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. People say that the other stuff is better than acid. You hear both things, but like, it's like, I'm okay when I'm on now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
like,
pot's enough.
Life is good. Yeah, and having a drink here and there, that's fine. I don't want to be. I don't want to be.
You don't want to go too far
and be drunk. I don't want to be over the limit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's just not. It's like you got to grow up. It's like I've done everything.
You've done everything under the sun, right?
Everything. Not every drug, but I've done like fucking. Banging strippers, doing it. I mean, we live like rock stars.
You live life, yeah. In other words,
basically. I mean, that's what I'm telling you is all out there. You should be banging strippers. You really should. I mean, you got to live. You got to enjoy your life. No matter what you do, you got to enjoy your life. And
that's true.
And I've always done that. And it's like when it's time to get normal, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. You can always talk about what you used to do.
That's true. And by the way, I had looked at your Wikipedia a long time ago, and it said you were a former pro wrestler.
Well, yeah, I took that. It was funny. I was like 34 at the time, and I got hired to do Vince McMahon's son's bachelor party on a ship. Shane McMahon. And me and Jim Norton went, and they just really liked the way I talked, and I was able to impersonate. I knew everything about wrestling, and they're like, we can use a guy like Pat Patterson. He was rubbing my leg too when he was doing it.
Holy shit, he was probably going down on you.
He might have. He was on the boat. It would have been like the Titanic going down.
Well, that's his whole MO. He's very friendly.
It's his whole HOM.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah, but, he's a nice guy. And
he swings that way.
Yeah, but and then they go, we can use somebody like you on the mic or something. But you should have training. And my neighbor was, he had a wrestling school. The Monster Factory, Larry Sharp had it, and he's like, just come and train, hang out. And I did some matches. It was just fun, but it does hurt, dude.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, it's not, I've played every sport, and this sport, or whatever you want to call it, hurts the most.
I can believe that, yeah. I didn't know you were an old school fan of wrestling.
Oh, yeah. I loved it, man. I fucking, when we moved to Staten Island, my father bought like a father-daughter house. It's like, it was one big house, and then there was a whole downstairs where you went in another thing, and then my grandparents lived there. And I used to go down every Saturday night as a kid and watch wrestling from midnight to 1 with him, like Milt Mascaris and all that, and it just Superstar Billy Graham. and it was like so funny to watch it because my grandfather would lose his mind, and they go, well, "We'll be back next week," and they would never end the matches. They would continue to the, you know what I mean, like till next week. So you didn't know who won last. And he's like, "God damn it!" And he starts smashing the cane on the ground. But
Nice.
it was like people didn't know. You kind of knew it was fake, but you didn't want to believe it. But you get hooked on it.
Hey, you do. Well, I'm still glad that you didn't succumb to the wealth and the power of one Pat Patterson, a man of his stature.
Well, Vince was there, and I was talking to him, but I was like, fucking, I got drunk, and fucking, I'm like the guy that hosts the show. Like, I forget his name. I think it was a radio guy in New York that was the announcer. I go, he sucks. He's bullshit.
Nice.
And I'm like, you don't go for an interview like that. You see, like things like that. People take advice. I've done every stupid thing. I've done a lot of good things, but I've done some stupid shit. That's not how you go for a job.
No, not at all. Not at all. But again, I'm just glad you didn't sleep with Pat Patterson.
No, me too.
Thank God.
I don't think I would have been able to sleep. No,
not at all. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that Pat Patterson, Lord.
But, he was just being cool. Like, he wasn't me. I don't think he was making a pass at the time, but it was.
Would you let him blow you over the handicapped Victoria's Secret model, the Down syndrome woman?
Oh, that one. Somebody put my face on that girl, and I was posting it, and I posted on Twitter, I look like the lady on Ozark, the old lady. And I was just, when I seen it, I was just fucking dying because it was hilarious. And, that's what I love about fans. They'll do pictures like
Photoshops,
Levy Land. There's so many of them. And, that's exciting. Like we're doing a show Thursday morning on Compound Media for a pilot. You know
nice,
what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, like I'm always on there and that, and like Anthony Comey is probably one of the funniest people you'll ever want to be around. And like when you go on his show, you know what I mean? Like he makes it so easy. He makes everybody shine. Like I even told him today. I just hit him up before, and I learned something every day because, like today's guest he's a slow talker, not high energy. So you take it to his level and put out the great interview where if somebody's like this, the host, and the other guy's like, yeah, I understand. You know what I mean? You have to go with the flow of, and then tomorrow he'll have Gavin McInnes, and it's a fucking madhouse. It's like, and he can do that too.
You got to match the energy, yeah.
You match the energy to the brilliance that you have, and that's why he's so good. And that's why, for fucking $9 a month a show, even 2 shows that you can listen to, that I listen to all the time, or 3, Pat Dixon too, and they're just amazing. And that's worth, and it's better than anything on TV or any other radio. I mean, nothing comes close to it today.
That's much better than a lot of things out there, especially today's, watered down product.
I listen to more like Kevin Brennan. I listen to his, I go on his show a lot on Patreon. I mean, he's fucking brilliant. There's only a few people that I can say that are brilliant and that I want to work with. That's it.
Yeah, Burning Bridges was a great show, by the way.
Oh, yeah, but his Misery Loves Company is great. Now we do comedy together. We're going to be working this weekend, and we call it, what is it, the Magical Misery Tour.
Nice.
Because
like that.
You're a miserable man. Yeah, it works. And, we're just starting. And I said, when the fall hits, I'm going to have I'm going to have theaters and whatever, any kind of good, I'm just going to do it for us. And it's just going to be good.
And going back to, going back to Anthony and, the Opie and Anthony show, during that time, were you were involved with the Stern Show, were you listening to O&A?
Not really.
Not really. Did you even know about that?
I knew about it totally. And, okay. I have made calls. I don't think I've ever been in the studio, but I knew about it. I heard some stuff. I knew everybody basically on it that came in. It was more of a open forum for comics and ball busting, which is like I like that style too. And but Howard's was more of a show, I guess. It was like they kind of knew. They would ask you, what do you want? What do you got? What do you want to talk about? And you had like 4 or 5 things, and it basically went. But then, when you're there a lot, like I was, you were able to start shit behind scenes, like anything that somebody slipped or did something.
Yeah.
Then it became part of the show, and it's great. And that's when it got explosive, like fucking with each other. It got really explosive, and that was some of the best radio.
Oh yeah. And was there anyone in the staff that you just despised?
Oh,
you liked everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem.
Nobody was like a douchebag to you, like especially no one sort of,
no,
treated you like shit at all.
Not at all. No, the only one that I had problems with later on was Gary, but it was more of just decisions. You know what I mean? And
nothing
me
that,
trying to get.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was just business. It was like you're not supposed to fucking go okay whatever you say. You're not. You gotta you go back and forth and go. Well, this is what I think. Like if I had to push Jason Ellis twice on the show before he got on, and he goes, "You come up with something that's a good idea, and we'll put him on." And I go, "He's brilliant. He's funny." And then I came up with an idea since he's uncircumcised, and so was Sal, the stockbroker. They would see how many M&Ms they can fit in their
yes.
in their thing. But the whole thing at the end, I go, then whoever loses, the other one opens it up, and it goes into the other one's mouth, and they have to eat it. And he's like, all right, we're not going that far with it. But you go like, especially with Kid Chris, we would do stuff like that. I did stuff with like that in Albany that was brutal. I mean, pain. People love to hear people screaming.
They do.
And it was just fun. And we torture each other.
And of course, you were there when Crystal Clear was on, that young porn star. That was, all those years back, I remember seeing that and just dying laughing at your reaction when you actually walked in there and, you had that big fucking grin on your face. And
oh, yeah.
We
knew what was happening.
Would you would have gone through with that? Would you would have banged that young girl there?
I don't know if I was married at the time.
I don't think you were.
I probably would have been, but I probably would have if even being married back then if nobody knew about it. But the whole thing is that we knew this was coming to be something amazing, and you could feel it in the room. And Kid Chris was there.
He was there.
Chris with me, and he sat in, and
that reminded me right away of that time. I'm like, shit, you were there when Crystal Clear, and of course Kid Chris. That's back in like 2006, I believe.
It could have been 2006, 2004, and that's an episode that never went on again after that because the boyfriend, I believe, threatened to kill everybody.
Whoa.
Or something. It was like it wasn't going to happen. He was fucking livid.
He was pissed. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, he definitely. I'm pretty sure that never aired after that. You can find it on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Yeah,
and you watch it just grow. And then how we all turned on each other to get, her reaction differently.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That was gold.
It was unbelievable. Like some of the best moments were shit like that. And like when I remember Artie got me real good one time. And I said, I'm gonna get him. I think I went on Stern Fan Network and said, I'm gonna get him. All of a sudden, Howard goes, Artie, we got a girl here that only dates big guys.
Yeah.
And that started a 3-day war.
That started the fight, the big fight.
The big fight. And that's when Artie called him a pelican.
Yeah, the bro fight, rather.
Yeah, the bro fight. That was the bro fight. And,
holy shit, yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, but we were fucking, after that, I do believe, yeah, that's when he went on the wrap-up show and did a whole speech how I sit in the basement and go on the interwebs with his creepy coke stained fingers.
Coke.
Yeah, and scaring girls on there. And he does this whole thing. He told me, he goes, wait down here for a few minutes before you come into the wrap-up show. I come in, I didn't know idea, and he goes, I drove him home. We listened to it, and I go, "That is the most brilliant." We laughed so fucking hard. It was like, you know what I mean? The hate is there, but the hate is not uh, something that stays when you have people like that. You understand? When
I hear
it's
you.
real. It's real when you're out. There was. I've never done it, anything. I've done, yeah, but like anything that was real. You know what I mean?
Right.
Totally.
Yes, and
Like,
of course, everyone remembers your battle with Danny Bonaduce.
yeah, that was kind of fake.
I was
You
going
know
to say
what I
that's a
mean?
little put up there, I would say.
Yeah, that was the only time I ever lied to Howard, and I felt so bad because I never thought that this motherfucker thought that, you know what I mean, that this shit was real to begin with. You know what I mean? Any kind of like, you know, whatever the celebrity boxing. I mean, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I mean, I never thought Howard really thought it was real, and then he really thought it was real. And
Yeah.
he asked me, he goes, "You swear?" I said, "I wouldn't swear on my son. I wouldn't, you know." And he kept going, and he goes, "Would you swear on your wife?" And I was like, "Okay," you know what I mean? 'Cause I
Right.
was like, "This probably ain't gonna last anyway. This is the third one, you know." But I really felt bad. I really felt bad of just fucking lying. And that like, you know what I mean? Because that's not what radio is about. That's not what, you know, entertainment really is about, unless it's wrestling. Because it's a big, you know, that's wrestling. It's basically wrestling. What that was, and it's just bullshit. And like, I just thought, you know, that he wouldn't realize that. Come on, this is like, you know,
So he was
it,
basically worked, in other words.
it was a work.
Yeah.
It was a work.
He
It
got
was a
work
work.
thinking it was
But
legit. Yeah.
yeah,
Thinking it
but
was a
you know
shoot.
what I mean. But I don't know. You know what I mean? It was just like such fucking bullshit. You know.
Well, I hope you
It's
got
like,
paid for that. Well,
I got paid. You know what I mean? It was like it's just not. It's just not. Nobody's good. Nobody. Uh, Anything like that is going to be a little shady. Okay, let's just say it like that.
yes.
You know, it's just like, it's unbelievable when you get paid in a fucking paper crushed up bag. You know what I mean? Like, come on, a brown crushed up bag with cash in it. How many movies you fucking watch?
I know.
You know what I
Lord.
mean? Give me a fucking break.
By the
You know,
way,
when you look back at it, it's just hilarious.
it is pretty. It's gold, by the way. A lot of your appearances on the Howard Stern Show were gold, and you were there during the best time, I believe. And I'll go back to saying more on that right now. But by the way, that woman, Crystal Clear, her real name is Kristen Packett, by the way, and she was arrested.
Oh, really?
Yeah, back in like 2019 for trying to steal a trailer.
Oh, wow.
Just in case you wondered, I thought I'd mention that to you.
Oh, I'd love to hear that, because I'm gonna do Shuli's show.
Yeah, let him know.
Tonight,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna bring that up, because that's like hilarious. Because, like, oh my God, that's a great show to do. Like, where are they now? Like,
There
some
you
of
go.
these great guests. I love it because, like, I mean, it was insane back then. It was insane. It was the greatest thing in the world. It was the top of the world of entertainment. I don't care when everybody would, you know, 90% people would agree that was the goal of somebody to be on. You know, you go on the late night shows back then. Once Carson was gone, it was worth nothing anymore. That was the show to be on.
Absolutely. And I just sent you a link to that on your Twitter there. So you can see that article yourself later on. And now you have some material there for you. But yes, Crystal Clear, classic segment there with Bob Levy and everyone that you love so well. And of course, nowadays though, the Howard Stern Show, you can't even listen to it.
Well, I do listen. I didn't listen for years. I'm like a bitter bitch. Okay, I didn't listen for years after. Then, you know, I was taking my wife to work in the morning in Philly, to the hospital, and she had it in the car, and I would listen to it. And I would go, okay, it's different.
It's different. I can't listen to it, to be honest. There's some segments that were okay, but it's gone so bad, in my opinion. It's a little too gay for me, to be honest.
It is kind of it's
Kind of got a
really
little
gay.
gay, got a little too gay for me.
But it was gay is always, like Kid Chris always said, gay is funny.
It is
We
funny,
always live by that.
sure.
But yeah,
There's a little bit of a line in the sand there, and I think Howard has sort of gone a little too open with it. I think he's a little, he's gone a little too friendly with it.
well, yeah, like I guess the new guy that does the voices or whatever, he's gay, and like Howard's more interested in like gay sex than gay funny bits. You know what I mean? There's a difference there. It got too. It's like okay, it's like having if a girl goes on there and talking about blowing seven guys. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Big fucking deal. It's not entertaining. Certain things I didn't think. The Sibian I didn't think was entertaining.
Not really.
No.
Yeah, that was never something I liked or cared for. It's just whatever to me, but the show was great the way it was, and then of course new people came in, and Howard Stern TV kind of gone. Everything sort of changed after that.
That was weird. I mean, like with the Sibian thing, the one day it was hilarious. We had Rapping Granny on it, and I was there.
Oh shit!
I think I was sitting next to Artie. I sat in a couple of weeks with him, and it was just so funny to have a fucking old lady on there. That's what it's for. You know what I mean? You get this fucking a girl that can't act in porn trying to act on that thing. It's worse than fucking me setting up something stupid.
Now that would be funny though if you wrote it.
Oh but I'm saying like the celebrity boxing bullshit thing, like you know what I mean? It's like me going, "Oh, this is real. I'm mad at him because well, that's why." Come on. I had no reason to be mad to slap him. Come on, it's all acting.
So you still right? So you still do listen to the current show that Howard now puts out there?
Yeah. Okay. I like to hear whatever. I mean, it's good sometimes. A lot of times, it's like, well, I look at it like now. I go, this is the competition. You know what I mean? You would never say that years back. You know what I mean? Going, oh, this would be something easy to pass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be competition if we were both starting, and a lot of people was just starting at the same time. You would say, nah, I'll pass on that.
Yeah. Recently, I just canceled my subscription to Sirius. I kind of felt it was pointless. I mean, I do listen to, I did listen to some of the music there, but you could find that anywhere else. But of course, I was listening to the Howard Stern show. Enjoyed it, but the whole thing with the nonstop with the music talk, that was kind of annoying when he has like a band on and he sort of starts saying, "Well, I should have been in a band. I should have done this," and then the whole parent thing, talking about his mom and dad all the time and imitating them.
A lot of that.
I mean, that shit gets old and boring as fuck.
Yeah, I haven't heard it in so long, but I see it. Yeah, he's always doing that, and. He gave you a can of corn for lunch. He's never cooking again. And he's like, yeah, my father was smart, which is right. If you don't want to do something, fuck it up. It is a true point. I mean, it's a different show now. Would I listen to 4 hours of it? No. Did I listen every fucking day? Did I wake up every morning, even when I wasn't on it, and listen to it? Because I'm always thinking, research, writing, and going, oh, we can do this. And it was entertaining. It was the best thing. It was like you didn't want to miss it because you damn well missed something fucking amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, during that time, it was a must listen to. Nowadays, not so much. You could catch a replay and listen to about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, while you're doing a chore. Just like a podcast, but yeah, it's a different show nowadays. If you have not listened, for those out there that are listening to this, yeah, it's a different show. You can find it pirated everywhere, so you don't really have to pay for it anymore. Fuck it.
Yeah, but like the whole thing is like I turned it on. And he's like, they had Gary the retard on, and it was called Gary the Conqueror.
The Conqueror, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, he's not retarded anymore, and it's like him trying to make believe he's somebody else now. And that's when you kind of, you have enough money, just retire. You know what I mean? Why do you have to really kind of, it's like a baseball player fading at the end. You know what I mean? They used to hit 295 every year, and then he's hitting 240, and they still have him for a reason. Maybe play to feel good.
He's slowly turning into Don Imus, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he loves that shit.
Yeah, he talks about that nonstop.
It's nonstop, and it's like he's upset because he can't go out and do stuff. But you didn't do stuff before but there's no such thing as that, I mean, you just got to go by facts. If you take something that's supposed to stop it and it doesn't stop it, it's not a cure.
That's right.
And it doesn't, here's another thing. If they say, well, you would have got more sick in that stuff. No, stop it. There's less people dying. You know why? Because all the ones that couldn't handle what this was when it came here died.
They died, yeah.
So, of course, less people are going to die because it got the people that had problems already. So, of course, the numbers are, and they always went with percentages. The spike was, whatever, it's 70% more. But the numbers could be like a hospital. My wife works in a hospital. It was never where it was overrun. They're like, oh, my God, what are we going to do with these people? And a lot of the people nowadays that are in there have their shots.
Right. And by the way, are you vaccinated by any chance?
Well, I'll tell you what. My wife got it. She's a nurse.
Gina, right?
Yeah, they basically said that you will be fired if you don't get it.
Oh, shit.
And so she ended up getting it.
She got it, yeah.
My son had to get it because he had problems that he had, he wanted me to get it. So I got one.
You got one, okay.
I come home and I said to I knew the guy and I said, is this going to, am I going to get really sick later? And he goes, if you are, it's going to be, he goes, I wouldn't do anything after like 8:00. It was like 5 hours later. He goes, you'll start feeling it if you're really going to have a bad reaction. Later that night, it probably felt like food poisoning plus 50. All of a sudden, it just, I couldn't believe it. I was sweating. I was cold. I was vomiting. I actually weighed myself because I knew something was happening. I think I lost 7 pounds by the next day.
Holy shit. So yeah, it affected you pretty badly there.
Yeah. So I was like totally, never felt like that. Even though I had COVID, that was nothing. That was one night it was a couple hours of, oh my God, I'm freezing. I need to get under a heated blanket. And then it kind of went, it wasn't bad. It was nothing. You wouldn't think anything else. If this wasn't around, you'd be like, if it wasn't COVID and you just got sick, you'd be like, I felt like shit. And I never got the second shot,
The booster, yeah.
No, the second one. I was supposed to get 2.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Moderna or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it fucked me up. But it's like, you know what I mean? I got it. I stayed home. I started not to feel good. I stayed home. I don't want to get anyone else sick. But I'm not going to. There are people that have health issues from it,
Sure.
Heart problems and that. And it's like, what do I want? Do I want heart problems or do I want to fucking fight a fucking flu? I'd rather fight a flu.
Right, you're seeing lots of healthy people developing, blood clots, and well, not even ultra healthy. Like everyone is developing blood clots and heart issues and shit. So,
a lot of people have it,
and I've caught COVID 3 times already.
Mm-hmm.
And all I did was, just took your average cold and flu medicine and smoked weed, and that was it.
No, it's a simple thing. But it's like just stay home and get better. That's it. It's like the good thing is, I said this to Anthony. I said we were talking about how Russia is going to, we were just like, Biden looked like an idiot.
Sure.
We're not going to. We don't want to fight Russia. Well, you don't say that because now they're going to destroy this country. they're going to go over there and just fucking maul them because you have to be scared. You have to have a leader. And I don't care if it was Trump or if it was just anybody else. This guy's not. This guy belongs in a home, and it's a joke. What happened to this guy? And prices are going to go up.
They're going to skyrocket. Yeah,
everything's going to skyrocket, and it's like it's like, why do you care? You let anybody can come into this country, but no, Russia, you can't go into this country. But we can just let people just come in, and basically we give them money,
give them everything.
We give them every fucking thing. I'm thinking of just going out and coming in with a fucking name, like
coming in with a different name.
Yeah, hey, Miguel Levy.
Miguel Levy.
Exactly. I mean, it's like, okay, people can come here. You can't take care of them. You can't when you look at the homeless that I see every morning when I take my wife to work. That I pick my favorite homeless person.
No shit.
And I take care of them. I give like almost every day like $3 and a few cigarettes.
That's pretty generous of you.
No, I don't want to give him too much because of the fact then, you know what I mean? He'll be fucking diving in front of the car every time. But and some days he doesn't get it. Sometimes I make the green light. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nice.
And I'm like, tomorrow, like, he's like looking at me and I'm like, we do a little wave, But it's sad. A lot of vets are homeless. Vets, you got to take care of people that fight for this country. I mean, I think they should have a card that gives them 20% off food shopping, for everything. You understand? Like it shouldn't be just fucking. Oh, you want to get a house? We have one thing that'll help you out, and then the guy from the fucking Gronk is going to make believe he's a vet to try to get the fucking the discount on the commercials. A little prick, But it's like they should be taken care of with other things, and
I agree.
That's it's sad to see, when you talk to the people, they'll have the, what I mean? They'll know what we had, the numbers say, what they know exactly what they are. And somebody that's fucking doing heroin is not going to be like, I was in Nam. Well, where'd you go? Yeah, Queens. They don't know. They don't have they don't know any of the the military information that a vet would know.
I acquiesce, and yes, I did see the response from our great leader Joseph Biden, the most popular president on earth, by the way. At least that's what they're telling us. More popular than Jesus Christ. But yes, I did see his response. People are saying it was pathetic, very pathetic, and I guess we are sending some military out there. And people are saying, why? Why the fuck are we doing this? But, I mean, it's all about the military-industrial complex. The ones that are really calling the shots. They want to get involved. They want war. They want to make more money.
Well, yeah, they want to make more money. And whenever anything's going bad in a country, a war is good for some reason. And it's always been like that forever. But if you can run it good, you don't need to start a war. But
absolutely.
And the whole thing is that the good thing I said that might happen because of this, I told Anthony, I said, just watch. I have a feeling if stuff starts really going down, all of a sudden, COVID's going to go away. Totally. Watch. They're just going to open everything up and say, oh, no, now it's just like, it's so low that because they have to give you something by fucking up. They're going to be like, oh, but look, you can go out now, but gas is going to go up another $2 an hour. And you can't blame everything on that. You can open up the pipelines. You can start doing your own fucking thing. You can't rely. If you rely on other people in your life, your life is going to suck, okay? And that's why you have to take care of it. Don't worry, you know what I mean? The fucking water is not going to flood us because of all this global warming. And what I mean? Stop it. It's been around too long. The earth is like a fucking it's like a kidney, you know what I mean? It knows how to take it and go and fucking and do stuff for your body,
unless you contract sepsis, though.
Yeah, but that can happen too.
That's what happened to my uncle, by the way. Now he's gone.
See, I didn't mean that to happen.
He's an alcoholic. No,
that happened.
Just reminded of that.
Yeah, but like, like stuff like that you do to yourself. You
That's
know what I
right.
mean? But like, what are you supposed to not live? What the what's the point of living? You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you're not
What do
going to
you
live.
think?
Yeah.
Yeah, during the AIDS thing, you think I stopped banging fucking porn stars and
Hell
that
no.
shit? I can't. If I'm gonna, maybe I'll get AIDS and sing like Freddie Mercury. I don't know, but I I'm not. I'm not calming down because of this shit.
I hear you. I mean, after Magic Johnson, a lot of people wanted to contract HIV to have a career like him.
Exactly. I
Everything
mean,
started getting better once he had HIV.
he got fat. He was the only guy that got fat getting AIDS. You notice that?
Yes.
I got AIDS. And look at him. He's a big fat fucking guy. Like, keep eating. We gotta push this fucking drugs.
By the
You
way,
know?
you're absolutely correct though about COVID. Yeah, it's a 6-month low. I'm starting to see COVID cases are very low. So you're absolutely correct on that. Yeah, you're right. People have to move on and worry about something else now. That's what the news does.
Well, that's what it is. And whatever's going to happen over there, we're going to fuck up with this leadership. I won't even blame Biden because it's not him, but, he's just a fucking,
He's just a puppet.
he's just a slurring fucking old man. He's worse than me. And
No, you're not. You're good. You're not slurring.
it's these new teeth. I can't get used to them.
Don't worry.
I got the Joe Namath teeth.
The Joe Namath,
if you,
nice.
You get them right now. You can get these for nothing if you're insurance. You ever see that with those big fucking
I've seen
donkey
those.
teeth?
Those are great.
It's unbelievable, but it's Joe Namath. Nobody said to him, Joe, these teeth are a little too fucking big for your mouth. You shouldn't be doing commercials for them.
You actually reminded me of Dykstra right now.
Lenny Dykstra.
Love him, by the way. He's fantastic.
I want to get him.
You got to get that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get him because I've asked him and he said yeah. And then like I've heard horror stories, but then I just love him. I fucking
He's
love
hilarious.
watching him on Twitter. He is. I mean, I definitely got to have him on. It's like I usually don't go. I go for just like comedians that I know or something like that. Because but I know it'll be great, but. I definitely got to have him on because he just doesn't care. It's fucking hilarious, and
That's the best.
and truthfully, it's not like he's hurting anybody else. And I think he's got his shit together more now. He's not
Probably.
He always posts that it's been how many days since he's been in jail or been arrested, and it's hilarious. So, like if you're gonna get in trouble, don't say hey I'm innocent. Just fucking make a joke of it. Say you can't. People try to make excuses and lie of why. He's hilarious. He's like, yeah, I haven't been arrested in 3 years or something. I love it.
Yeah, brutal honesty is always great. It'll put you over with anyone. People connect to you much faster when you're honest and somewhat funny.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah, you can talk to somebody and you can tell if they're a phony because the main thing is get them talking and then go.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, you just go, yeah. And then you don't say anything else and they have to continue talking. And then you go, really? And then they continue. And you can tell if they're full of shit by just watching. A bullshitter will never make eye contact with you when they're talking. You just stare into their eyes and let them, and you can see that, you know what I mean? Somebody that's honest will look into your eyes because you look into somebody's eyes when you're talking to them because you're trying to, you understand more with the eyes, whether they understand what you're saying and stuff like that.
It's true. Eye contact is very important, and you could read a man or woman very easily when you are watching her conversate with you, as long as you are toned and honed in rather to her eyes and just staring into her soul right there.
Yeah, basically, and it's like, try it at bars, people, if you're single, and that just try those rules with the eye contact. Anybody. You can figure out people so much quicker. You don't have who has time to deal with people's fucking bullshit. And you're
not
like,
today.
You're like all of a sudden you're like, oh God, this guy's an asshole. But you could have figured that out in like 2 times.
Aren't you glad, Bob, that you're married and you're not one of these older men like on Tinder or one of these dating sites trying to meet someone today? I mean, that's fucked.
No, I mean, look, when you tag fucking all the pussy when you're single, it's the greatest fucking thing.
Sure.
There's never a shortage of as long as you know how to talk, and
Yeah, but a lot of these guys on these dating sites, they have fucking nothing though. They're zero game, so that's kind of embarrassing.
I like that because it always gave me more opportunities because they have no game, they have nothing.
No
they're
charisma.
boring.
Yeah,
Yeah, nobody. A woman loves to laugh. I don't give a shit what anybody says. You can go a long way by being funny.
It's true.
There's no doubt about it. If not, I would go on 90 Day Fiance and get myself like a Thailand woman or something. One of these countries, and she'd be really hot, and I would give her $1.
Nice. How generous of you, $1, but that goes a long way in a different country, in a third world country.
Exactly.
As long as you're not banging, as long as you're not banging, these lady boys out there.
Well, we all make that mistake once or twice. You know what I mean?
Sometimes more than others.
Tricky. Yeah, they're tricky. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they hide that Adam's apple very good, and they tuck things in pretty good.
Yeah, they look down a lot. They never look up. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's why you're always like, is that a plane going by? And they look up and you're like, oh, fuck, it's an Adam's apple. I knew he got me again. It's the same guy.
It's the same guy. Has that ever happened to you, though, at any time in your life? You're out drinking, doing your thing, you're kind of fucked up. You go and, you reach under a skirt and you feel like a sack or something. That's never happened to you.
No, but we've seen a friend of ours that was drunk. You're talking to one, and of course we had to run over there and not tell him, and
nice,
it was just hilarious until he found out and lost it. I mean, we'd never tell it. We would never ruin something like that.
Never ruin a good time, and that actually happened to a friend of mine. The whole reaching under a skirt thing did happen to a friend of mine, and TJ. He was really into this girl, and he went to a dark corner, and they were feeling each other. He was feeling the ass of another man. At the time, he thought it was a woman. But, he went under there and, tried to give a good little, the bowling ball grip there.
Yeah.
No dice. You just got a handful of a sack there.
Yeah, I say that. That's like a feeling like your facial expression is basically like,
holy shit.
Jesus came back on Easter.
That's
you
right.
Have the same look, The
look of astonishment, yes, and horror. And shock, and God,
I can't believe this is happening to me.
My father would be disappointed.
Well, that's what, especially when you have to bring him over for fucking holidays, and explain what happened.
Ooh, good Lord! And we're gonna wrap up here. I am very thankful that you came on here and gave us this time. But of course, this leads me to ask, going back and through history, I've seen so many of clips of you from, back in the day with Howard. And I do recall this one time you did call into the show very irate about one David Chappelle. You were saying what happened there exactly? Did he really lift your material, or do you think that was sort of, great minds think alike?
No, that was his writers.
His writers.
Okay, I'll explain what happened. No one will take the. Okay, we're talking about entertainment, so
sure.
And anyone takes the bigger person. You know what I mean? Whoever is bigger is the one that's right because of the fact it's a little sucking of the dick.
Yeah, they're more popular, so of course they're right. You're wrong.
Yeah, and anybody else in entertainment is going to be like, hey, it's Dave. But the whole thing, we were at Caroline T. Camden with his team.
Sure.
He was hanging out, but his team sat in the audience for the show. Dave was running around. He was backstage. He was at the bar. You know what I mean? And he was really cool and all that shit. But all of a sudden, like 2 months later or something like that, one of the jokes is on his thing, and it's like, what the fuck, but I didn't even know that shit happened like that. But it's such a because when you look at it, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If you say you're a writer, you're getting paid well. You're getting paid well to write for a big show.
Big show, yeah.
What happens when you don't put out the goods?
You lose your spot.
Exactly. So I didn't know that a lot of the times in the business, they would go to clubs and just lift shit.
Get material,
And it's a well-known thing. And I had no idea because, like I said, I wasn't like, just got into this business. I'm just happy the way it's going, and I'm like, I fucking don't even need an alarm clock anymore. It's the greatest fucking thing in the world, and I'm enjoying life. And it was just, it was just something that you didn't expect, and I just said it, and so he's like, you gotta call in with that, and that's the show. Like something like that, you just you'd rather keep it to yourself, but you know that they're telling you, call in, he's here, call in, and.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, it's all instigation. It's all to see if this could blow up, whatever it was. I wouldn't say it was the biggest.
So they kind of gassed you up, in other words, too.
Yeah, of course.
I see.
Of course. But that's what you're going to do. You're going to suck. Whose dick you going to suck, Dave Chappelle or me? I just started there.
I hear you. I understand.
You know what I mean?
I get you now.
Yeah, it's simple. When you look back at things, especially in a clear mind, you're like, holy shit, yeah, I get it. I totally get it. And that's one thing about the show. Sometimes you're a hero. Sometimes you go home and you had gotten your ass kicked. And that went for everybody.
Yeah.
That went for everybody.
Sometimes you're the nail, sometimes you're the hammer.
Exactly. But that's what, you know what I mean? You can't win all the time and you can't lose all the time. It's just not good entertainment. But there was times I was on the longest show that was ever on there because I believe it might have went to 1 o'clock, 1:30, because it was me fighting with everybody. Somebody would come in, they'd say something, fucking just to start attacking them, boom, 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 fucking this. Somebody else came in, and Shuli comes in. I go, don't you even start, you motherfucker. Yeah. And then you know what I mean. I go, okay. And Howard goes, you're not upset? I go, no. I just sold more fucking tickets to the fucking comedy cabaret Saturday night. And I'm just fucking, but I was furious. They got me a hotel room to calm down the block. And then I came back and we sat with Tim and everything. And I was like, yeah, I'm cool. But that's what it was. It was real emotions. You know what I mean? And when you have the real emotions, that's going to be the best radio. Like, you're never going to hear anything that I did on Sirius XM. They edited it all out. They're not even allowed, nobody was allowed to mention my name. If guests came on, they were told, you can't say Bob Levy. And I just found it to be hilarious. But, I mean, however you deal with something, that's okay. You know what I mean? But I deal with things a certain way, you deal with things a certain way, but you'll never hear it. So you have to listen to anything on YouTube that I might slip on an episode, but I don't think that even happens.
Right. Yeah. Again, you were on the best era, in my opinion, of that show. The greatest show on earth, I would say. It was incredible at one time.
It was huge for the Kinnison years too. Like, it was different, but it was huge. And then you look at it as the Artie times, era, yeah. Jackie, the Artie.
Love Jackie too, though. Let's not forget Jackie. Yeah, he was pretty goddamn funny.
And Fred, one of the geniuses, just nice guy. Like, I got along with everybody. That's the sad thing. Right now, they probably go, "Oh, he's a fucking idiot," because that's what you have to say, But I've never did anything to anyone. I never really did anything to anyone.
Yeah, they really don't mention anybody anymore. Any former staff member.
But they won't mention me. They you won't even hear a replay.
Yeah, I've never heard them. Yeah, I've never heard them mention you again.
No, that's his thing. You know what I mean? That's his thing. When you're done, you're done. That's it. I just couldn't take it.
I think even during their whole fight week segments they do, once in a while they'll still, replay some of those on Howard 101. And I've never heard anything from you there. I always thought, well, why not? Sometimes they'll play something with Artie, but, not Bob.
No, and like the meanest listener thing, you'll never hear.
That's right. Yeah, the meanest listener.
That was an amazing thing. You could probably see it on YouTube. It was it was Casey came up with that, and it was just like, I was on once before that happened, and I was like, this is, even Casey said, this is like fucking, he goes, I kind of came up with this with an idea of you,
Oh, okay.
And I was like, and it worked out well. I won. You know what I mean?
You did win, yeah.
and I didn't know. I knew it was going to be me or Yucko. I knew that for a fact. And actually, near the end, when I think it was me, him, and somebody else, we knew it was me or him. And I said, look, whatever. I go, I'm sure we can both use half the money, and whatever, we'll sell the truck. And I said, you want to do that? And he's like, okay. And I won. I had no pressure. I went in there the last time. I had no pressure because it didn't matter who won.
Very nice.
And it went great. When you have no pressure, it's so easy. When you're going for, was it 25,000 and a fucking Dodge Durango, you might get a little fucking nervous. But of course, he wanted to win. He told me that, he wanted that title, of as much as I did, because it was just an amazing time.
Poor Yucko, by the way.
Well, Yucko's doing good.
He got it on during that time, when the whole wife thing, divorce thing, I thought that was
it was tough.
Pretty tough for him, I bet.
It was tough to see, you know what I mean? It's like look, one thing it is, when you're in love, you don't see anything else.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it just, I guess it was too fast, and it was like, and she was, and if somebody says, well, I don't know if I want to get married, really, then you kind of,
that's not a good sign,
It's not a good sign. It's not like you would maybe not do it if somebody's just a little scared, but whatever, everything happens for a reason, and you move on.
Absolutely. And of course, you were close with Beetlejuice at one time. Are you still in communication with him? Maybe you could bring him on. Oh no,
I miss him so much. It was he was at my house. Somebody he didn't know what time it was ever. Whenever he went to sleep, he woke up, but he would go outside 4:30 in the morning, see my neighbors, maybe going
nice.
Fucking work or something. And he's like, yeah, I bought the house, and I let Bobby go out and live there. And yeah, he would cook. We would watch movies. He was a different person when you were with him. Because I didn't treat him like a joke at all. You know what I mean? Because that's why a lot of times when Beetlejuice came on, when I was up there, I would bring him in because of the fact I knew how to play him. And they used to film him before, and they go, Beetle, why are you in a bad mood? I go, no, okay, cut it. I go, I just went outside. I go, you're going to film the introduction to Beetlejuice. We're going into the show after we're done.
Yeah.
None of this bullshit like this, because it would get him in a mood, and I knew how to work him. I knew how to get him going. I knew when Artie was talking shit, I go, hey, remember that motherfucker? We're in the car going to the airport. I go, you remember fucking he fell off the stage, that fat motherfucker? And I go, hold on, Howard wants to talk to you. And I call up, get Beetle on. He goes, oh, you fat motherfucker. He goes, you fell off the motherfucking stage. But all you had to do, we even did it live when we did the shows, you just had to get him going, and lead him. He knew what to do, He knew. He's funny. I mean, he's funny. He may be a little fucked up in that shit, but he always wanted to be a man. He's a man, and he'll tell you that. And he would sometimes, when he would come on the road, I would hand his check to his management. He would see me paying, you know what I mean, people, and he goes, "Where's mine?" And I go. So then I came up with an idea. I go, "Well, I go, I got to give it to them, but I'm gonna get you pictures, headshots, sell them for $20 each." And then he started doing that, and he would have a wad of fucking money, and he would buy a new cell phone every week. He would buy batteries, $20 worth of Chinese food, and he'd be like, "Ah!"
That's so funny.
But it made him happy, so it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Right.
It doesn't matter what he did with his money, because the other money was taken care of. This was just to make him feel like a man, right. He should be getting paid.
That's true.
He should have it. But it was a fun time.
Yeah, I had no idea you were that close to Beat.
Well, I was with him. I did spend a lot of time. We shared rooms and that, and just hung out and flew together. And I've learned and drove with him. But I learned it's like, they say he's going to shit his pants or he's going to piss himself. We go to the airport. I'm like, I got to take a leak. Let's go take a leak before. You did it a certain way. You didn't say like a child. You got it. And he didn't have these problems anymore. You understand?
Right.
So it's like, it's a matter of just seeing. It's like any other person. Like, you know what I mean? You see things in them, and you know things that'll going to take them to a different. It's going to piss them off or not piss them off. Or, you got to know how to deal with people.
For sure. Well, that sucks that you are no longer really in communication with Beetle. And,
yeah, he's in Georgia. He's living it up. I mean, he might be a farmer or something now. But he was on. He did it with Bobby. Took him. They were at a hotel. Bobby loves him and Sean took care of him, and he had the time of his life. He's still doing it. It looks, and I'm happy for him.
Yeah, he's still out there. He was on Stern not long ago.
Yeah, and with Bobby, and it was like it was great. It was great to hear. I love the videos. Bobby posts them all the time when he does see him. He films stuff and puts it out there, and he's having the time of his life. So
I love that. I like hearing that. He's still good out there. I already knew that he was doing quite well for himself and still continuing. He's still not going to a lot of these places, but thanks to, the internet, he can do it remotely now.
Yeah, because, it's like, I mean, he was crazy sometimes on the road. It was horrible, but it was, he wanted to take a fucking bus home from California one time or something, and he left the room at like 2 a.m. It's very hard to communicate with somebody that's screaming at you and 2 feet high.
That's true.
And, yeah, but it was like, but you can't, when you look back at it, even at the moment, it was like, this is something that not many people at all could say that they lived this kind of life.
That's absolutely correct.
And had this much fun and just the insanity and the power of that show. We could do anything at a club. Anything.
Yeah, that's badass to go through that. I'm glad you experienced that part of life that no one really, not many people are fortunate to achieve that sort of thing, that kind of freedom to go around and have that much fun and, get paid for it.
Yeah, it was incredible because when you look back at it, I ate Savannah Sampson's ass on stage at Caroline's. And you know what they did? They smiled. You know why? Because it was going to be on the Howard Stern show the next day. You understand? It was that's how powerful he was.
That's insane. And of course, now I think you probably aren't eating ass out on stage now that you're married with Gina. I don't think she would appreciate that.
But if I might bring it back. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, I think this fucking country needs it more than ever.
More ass eating on stage. You could be the man to bring it back. I would commend you to do so if hopefully the wife doesn't get too angry with you.
Hey, listen, man, it's business. And wouldn't it be funny if Dave Chappelle started doing it before I came back to it?
That would be great if he did. And of course, the miserable
I need a woman to come up here so I can eat something.
That sounds just like, I thought it was him.
No, I'm horrible. I do impressions on miserable men, and they're so bad that they're funny. Well,
that sounded kind of like him to me. I just heard him not long ago.
Really? I hear he's always like, yeah.
He's got that sort of the twang going on. But yes, the Miserable Men Show, by the way, every Wednesday night on Patreon. That's where you can go, patreon.com/The Miserable Men Show. You could check out Bob Levy and Brent Hatley, by the way, and Mike and Mark and Shuli.
Yeah, and Izzo runs it, and he's unbelievable with the sound effects and just fucking pictures coming up. And we have Lenny on there who basically drank his own cum to be a member of the show.
Wow, that sounds like what's going on at the Howard Stern show now.
Yeah, but they're
coming on hats now, and
but no, he drank it. He drank it.
Oh, he drank it, and what a soldier!
He drank it once when we weren't looking, like I was looking, but he did it real quick to get it over. That's not the rule, so he had to do it again the next week.
Well, that's the proper thing to do, and that's the proper thing to do. At least he's a soldier. Yes, it's all about timing.
and he ruined it by not going. He goes, oh, I didn't see that because there's no script. It's like we're saying, let's tell this story, set it up, and then you do it. It's simple. You just follow it.
That's right. And of course, are you going to bring Kevin on the show?
Kevin Brennan?
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely, he would be perfect on that show. Yeah, I'm gonna bring that up tonight too.
Ask him.
I would love to have Kevin Brennan on there because he's just too much. I love him. I love him. He's the most honest person in the world, and comedians attack him because like he gets physically attacked because of the fact that people hate the truth, man. They really do.
Yeah, and he fires people up, that's for sure. You know, I am a big fan of Kevin, and you know, I do like a lot of his work. I've seen plenty of his videos.
Yeah.
Listen to him on Burning Bridges. You know, I love the show. Love that he's that honest. And of course, I like that he takes shots at other comedians. That's kind of, you know, what I miss. There's a lot of comedians out there that I don't like. I despise. I think they're fucking talentless hacks. They stink. So many of them do. And a lot of people are afraid to say that. And if you do, people will say, oh, you're just jealous. Because they're more popular. They have more money than you. So that's why you say these things, and it's like, fuck no, trust me, I just don't care for these people. Comedy should be funny, and a lot of these comics out there aren't. But yes, you'll be touring with him, and you do have a show coming up Friday with, I believe, him, and who else is going to be there?
Joe Conti, a good friend of mine, and you know, we're just going to rock it out. We're going to be at the Tiff's Comedy Club in Morris Plains. It's you know, it's not a big place. The owner is great. He loves comedy. It's a really good place to see a show. And then Saturday we're doing something in PA and like near Philly, but that's sold out, I think. So, you know, and then we're really going to start we're going to be in Vineland, New Jersey, the next Saturday. Me and Kevin and a few other people doing some kind of benefit thing, but you can get tickets on. Yeah, it might be on kevinbrennan.com, the Vineland thing. But you know, we're just having fun, and we'll be going big time. You know, big time and full time. You know, by September.
Very good, very good. Well, once again, it's a honor and pleasure to have you here, Bob. It was fun to talk to you, and you know, go down memory lane for a while here. And before I let you go, any final words or predictions of what's going to happen here at the end of 2022? Any celebrities you think are going to check out?
Let's see. I would have to say somebody who's throwing their weight around a lot and they're always on. I'm going to go with, is it Lizzo? I'm going to go like pretty high odds of if I won this one, I get a lot of money. Is it Lizzo, the big girl?
I think so.
Yeah. I have a feeling she's going to choke on food like Mama Cass or something.
Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, I have a feeling Pete Rose is going to go because I was thinking the other day, they're not going to let this motherfucker in the Hall of Fame. They're going to, you know, and they're going to wait maybe one day after he dies and then they're going to put him in. But he's going I just thought that the other day. So I'm going to go with those two. Those are the two big ones. And the person that killed Bob Saget. Oh my, yeah.
That's another thing I forgot to bring up here. Bob Saget mysteriously dies with a blunt trauma to the head.
I'm calling what I called right off once I heard that.
That's what I heard, yeah.
When you hurt your head, the first thing you would do is basically call your family, right?
Right.
You know, you don't go to sleep. So I've been saying a hooker did it. You know, because sometimes things go wrong, and they're not the most you know, secure, normal people walking the earth. And I believe something went bad, and he might have got hit by a lamp or something, or maybe a metal lamp or metal something, and something happened.
I think he got whacked for sure.
Well, you know what I mean? It's like, imagine if Bob Saget was the head of the mafia. I mean, can you imagine that? And it comes out. It's like, that motherfucker, holy shit, he got all of us. Can you believe that?
That'd be insane.
That would, you know, but did something embarrassing happen because the family don't want it out, you know?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right about that. I think there's a lot more to the story.
Oh, it totally is. And it's like, you know, if they would if shit comes out about anybody that dies, it should come out then. You know what I mean? Because if somebody does an autopsy, you get the results, and they're out there somewhere, right? You probably can find them online or something of almost anyone that died with an autopsy, right? I
And
would
Bob,
say.
if you end up dead anytime soon after this interview, you weren't suicidal, for the record. Obviously,
No.
you love your life, so something bad definitely happened to you if you end up, just being found dead. In other words,
Well, yeah, exactly. With the
for the record,
just check out in case on my TV if I have a lot of Full House episodes saved in storage. That something happened, and it's sad. It's really sad because he was looking forward to going out again, and at least he didn't die in a shitty hotel.
that's true.
Not many comics could have fucking, some of them, fucking, it was a fucking Days Inn.
Well, Chris Farley went out in a good hotel.
Yeah. If you're going to go out, you got to go out, even fucking John Belushi, right? I mean,
Yeah.
It was like you can't go out at a Days Inn.
No.
No matter how good you are, it just kind of, it takes everything away. And
It kind of does. It kind of does. It loses some steam there if you go out that way.
Yeah, like a Howard Johnson's. Oh, man. Can you imagine that?
Motel 7.
Yeah, you'd be like, yeah, the one down the road from Motel 6. Yeah.
That's the one, yeah. My God, Bob. Well, once again, it's always fun to hear your voice. I've heard you for years, so this is pretty awesome to have you on the show. Always a honor and pleasure to hear you here or anywhere, that for that matter. But yes, check out Bob Levy's show. Great guy, great comic. Check him out, ladies and gentlemen. And again, before I let you go, any final words?
No, I just like to thank you. You're very good at this. It was just very smooth and very enjoyable. And you have a tender voice that should be paid for and not held back money.
I agree.
I'll tell you that.
I agree. I definitely need to get on the ball with these people, these agents, these the managers here. All these people that I want to strangle with my heart, not physically, just with my heart. But yes, these people definitely causing me a headache here and wanting me to go out like Bob Saget. I want to hit my head and go to sleep.
Yes. Yeah, it's amazing.
It is. So once again, Bob, love talking to you, my friend. We'll do this again sometime.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you so much for having me.
And there he goes, boys and girls. That was the Reverend Bob Levy. The legendary Bob Levy, I should say. That was a good time, a fun time. We weren't here for a long time. We were here for a good time. As you know, we're going to wrap it up here. And again, I do want to thank all of you out there, those on patreon.com/Michael Deacon. Yes, that is where gold falls from the sky. You can check out all the great content there. And of course, those of you on YouTube, we love that you're here listening to the free show. But of course, patreon.com/Michael Deacon. That is also where things go down. We love it there. We would love for you to come over. Very low price, $3, $4, $5, whatever you got. We'll take whatever you got. We're not too picky about that. But once again, I do want to thank all of you for checking out the show. The newer listeners out there, please subscribe here. We would like that. If not, that's cool too. But we'd rather have you subscribe and enjoy the ride with us here. Once again, folks, thank you so much for pressing play. We will do this again